Hey guys, it's Russell with DieselGiant.com, and on today's video I'm going to show you how to install this, a Frantz NOS or new old stock oil bypass filter on your Dodge Ram diesel. So stay there, we'll be right back.
Okay, so under the hood of the 2001 Dodge Ram, I've got my Amsoil bypass filter system here. You can search my channel for the how to install if you want to learn how to install this, make these hoses, the whole thing. I put this on about 5 years ago. It's been absolutely flawless. I have no complaints whatsoever with this bypass system. Well, I guess the only complaint would be these bypass filters are quite expensive. They're upwards of $30. But I have the exact same oil in here, in this engine, when I did this bypass install. I do an oil analysis once a year. I take a sample, send it to the lab, and every year the oil has come back nearly perfect. I change the full flow Amsoil filter once a year, and then I change the bypass filter every other year. So you're probably asking yourself, why do I want to replace this? Well, number one, I want to do a video for you guys. This Frantz oil filter bypass system has been out since the 1950s. There's been various iterations, but the NOS or the new old stock here, this is brand new. It's never been used. I have no idea what year this was made. I don't know. If anybody knows, leave a comment. But it uses a tightly wound roll of 1-ply toilet paper inside here. I'm going to have to change this probably every, I don't know, 3,000 to 5,000 miles. And I'm going to do an oil analysis once a year to see if this is filtering any better than the Amsoil, which I think it probably will. But we'll see. But again, I wanted to do a video for you guys on how to install this. The other reason that I want to do this is I originally had bought one of these for the Volkswagen TDI, but there's just absolutely no room under the hood to put it, and I can do that here. So plus I can do the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reuse these hoses. In fact, I'm only going to disconnect the hoses at the Amsoil bypass fitting. I'll have a bracket that will mount the Frantz filter to my battery bracket here. I don't want to change this, and I'll be able to use the hoses exactly the way they're positioned. I'm not going to even take them off from the swivel cap or the supply. Now what I've done is I've taken two fittings. These are 1/8 inch NPT to that's 7/16 by 20 JIC, which is the connectors that my hose use. These are 7/16-20 JIC connectors, which are basically the same thing as AN-4, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the bracket that I fabricated to mount the Frantz filter. We'll mount the Frantz filter on the bracket, and then we will disconnect our hoses and mount the assembly here and connect everything up and take it for a test start. Alright, here's the bracket assembly with the Frantz filter mounted. Basically, I just took two pieces of, this is 2-inch wide 1/8 inch stock, and then I tack welded in the middle a 1 1/4 inch wide piece to get about 5 inches. And I've notched and chamfered the edge here to allow for the alternator wire that passes down near where the bracket is. And I ended up, after several iterations, lowering this down to where this is almost equal with the bracket. The reason I did that is because I was having just a little bit of hood clearance problem. So I dropped the bracket down about 1 1/4 inches on the plate. I've got the holes right there that mount to the battery. And this is how this looks from the side. Now this is way overkill. If you can find a piece of aluminum that's about 5 inches wide and about 10 inches long, you can certainly use that. And it will be lighter and easier to drill. But this 1/8 inch flat stock you can get from Home Depot, and it does require you to weld it. So I would suggest that you do it a little bit easier than I did it. But anyway, this is the way that the bracket and the filter are going to go into the truck.
Alright, I'm going to remove both of the oil lines. Lay them aside. Now I'm going to remove the nuts and bolts holding the Amsoil filter to the bracket. And we have the assembly that just lifts right out. So I'm going to go get our bracket with our Frantz filter, and we're going to install it right where the Amsoil bypass came out.
Alright, I've got the bracket coated in an acid and rust resistant coating, so it will never rust. It looks better than just the plain steel. I'm going to have to make some new hoses because the position of this filter is a little different than the position that the Amsoil was on. So I'm going to show you how to make the hoses next.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shorten my supply hose, lengthen my return hose, and I've got me some brand new hose I ordered from Amsoil. If you order from FrantzOil.com, get the kit, it will already have hose in there. That's a rubber type hose that uses push lock connectors. Completely different than this. I like this style because this is JIC, which is what my fittings are. Okay, so I'm going to take the, we'll call this the barrel. This just slips on the hose like this, and you turn this, to tighten it, you turn it opposite that you would normally tighten. This has basically got right hand threads or left hand threads. Okay, and once you get it started, we're just going to push down a little bit as we twist it on. And the threads in there are grabbing the hose and self-threading it on. You just do this till the hose bottoms. I don't know if the camera's going to be able to, you're not going to be able to see that, but you'll feel the hose bottom. And then what you want to do is let me just make sure. Then we want to back it off one turn. Okay? Now next, I'm going to take a little bit of, got some oil here. I'm going to lubricate the threads and then put a little oil in here. And then this part right here is going to slide into the hose, and this is hollow. This is going to lock the hose to the barrel. And trust me, this will not come off. Okay, you can start it by hand if you want. If you have a vise, it's probably easier to do this in a vise. But I'm just going to take one wrench and hold this. I'm going to drop my other inch. Okay, this goes all the way down, and it's going to get tight. These are considered reusable, so you can take them off. I could have taken the ones off my Amsoil hose if I wanted, but I wanted to show you guys how to make the hose ends in case you wanted to use this style. Okay, now that is on there permanently. You will not get this off, it will not leak. Alright, I wanted to show you that if you get the kit from Franzoil.com from Ed, you'll get a rather large length of hose, and you'll also get these, they're called push lock connectors, and if you've never used these, they're very easy to use. Basically, you just take the end of the connector, and it's got barbs on it, and you just push it into the hose up against the plastic stop, and then on this end it's got threads. Now this hose is considerably more flexible. It's going to be easier to work with than this, and these are a lot faster. But as I said earlier, I have JIC connectors already, and wanted to just stay with those. So here's the finished product. This is going to be my supply hose right here, and this will be my return hose, and it will just loop to the valve cover like that. Now once you get everything sorted out, make sure that you tighten your connectors up before you mount the filter, if you're mounting it in a position similar to mine, because it's going to be very hard to get a wrench on these after the fact. So the only thing left for us to do is to mount the filter on the battery bracket and hook these up. Alright, so the sun is going down rather rapidly now, and I'm going to lose good light when I'm shooting. But what I'm doing is I'm mounting the 2 bolts, my nuts, washers, and everything right here. I'm going to take my supply line and attach it to the supply line, or the fitting. Right there is the supply line coming right off the top of the oil filter housing, and then the return line will go right there. Alright, so I've got the return line fitting there. It's all secured. Alright guys, so what is the bottom line? The bottom line is get you a bypass filter. I don't care what you drive. I'm going to leave Ed's contact information at Franzoil.com down in the description. I don't sell bypass filters. You can talk to Ed Greany. I'll put his number and his contact information down there. He's a very nice man. You won't regret getting a Frantz Bypass filter from him. Probably in a couple days after this video goes up on YouTube, I'm going to have another video that's going to show an in-depth look at the inside of one of these bypass filters, what kind of toilet paper and how many turns it takes to get the toilet paper to fit down in there, because it's different on different rolls. After that, I'm going to have probably in 500 to 1,000 miles, I'm going to do a service on the filter that's in the truck, in the Dodge Ram that we just put in there. I'll show you how to service the filter in the truck itself, what the element looks like when it comes out, and we'll see if there's anything in there. So I appreciate you watching the video. If you've got any comments, if you've got a Frantz filter, have a story about one, or if you've got a bypass filter, whatever brand it may be, leave a comment down in the box below, and I will see you guys on the next video.